Hey, what's up, guys? This is Miranda Alcaraz, and this is episode number... Salvi, what number is this? 29? 29 of the More Than Nothing podcast. And I feel like I say this every time, but I didn't know quite for sure what I was going to talk about this week, mostly because I feel like all that anyone is talking about in our office, on Instagram, on social media, when you open up any TV channel, whatever, is this coronavirus thing. And we've had to have several meetings about it at work because we have some trips coming up. One in particular is to Las Vegas next weekend, which we've been planning for a long time. The other is to New York, but that's not for a couple months. And then, of course, everybody's very concerned about me because I'm pregnant. And there's this like pandemic, right? And so it's taken up a lot of our time that we don't really necessarily have, and brain power. Just talking about this and hearing people's feelings about it and the freakouts and the all of that. Anyway, I don't necessarily have a strong opinion one way or the other about this. I like to stay aware of things, but I do feel that people really freak out about anything that's on the news these days, and the news loves it, and so they blow it up and everything like that. So we'll see. We're just kind of paying attention to it. Obviously, I do pay attention to it because I'm pregnant, but I have not yet, at least at this point, let it take over my life. But it did give me an idea for the podcast today, so thank you for that, I guess, because even this morning I was like, oh man, I got to think about the More Than Nothing podcast. And, you know, what I really think that this whole coronavirus thing is a great example of, and just a great reminder of, is a lot of the stuff that we talk about on the More Than Nothing podcast. It's about human behavior. And what the coronavirus reminds me about human behavior is that people are willing to go to drastic measures for things like canceling trips, losing money, canceling schools, canceling huge events. Like, I mean, I can't imagine the amount of money that the NCAA or NBA are losing on, canceling their events or not having the crowd or whatever. And my mom literally right before we started recording this sent me a picture of the line at Costco of people just like buying all this stuff, and people like calling in and saying, I refuse to come to work, or I'm not going to fly. And people, when there's like something in the news or something new or something that seems like a big deal, are willing to go to drastic measures for a short amount of time. They will sit in their homes with their rolls and rolls of toilet paper and keep themselves safe, and they are willing to fight that annoyance of not being able to leave and having their kids at home, and for good reason. They want to keep themselves and their kids safe, and they will go to any measure possible for a short amount of time. What they're unwilling to do, though, is the day-to-day things that we all should be doing and should have been doing leading up to any sort of thing like this, to make sure that we're as healthy as possible for if something like this were to happen. So I've read a few things about the coronavirus, and the things that I have read are that the risk factors are way more for there being a bad outcome if you get it. So obviously staying away from people is the best way to not get the disease. But if you do get it, the risk factors, or your risk factors for having a more negative outcome, I guess you could say, are highly, highly increased if you have things like heart disease, diabetes, and a lot of, if you're a smoker. Those are like the three main ones that a lot of those things are, for many people, preventable, or at least, can be kept under control by lifestyle habits, which takes you doing more than nothing, the stuff that we talk about on this podcast daily for your whole life. You can't go stock up on toilet paper at the last second to prevent those things from happening. So I do think it's funny about human behavior, that people, and those diseases too, they kill so many people every day, but they're it's not a pandemic in the news the way that this is. And so people are less likely, or they're just not as interested in making the small, boring, monotonous daily lifestyle habit changes to prevent that stuff. And it's very, very, very interesting because the information for how to lower your risk factors for developing type 2 diabetes and heart disease and obviously quitting smoking, all of that information is there. And all of the information is there for how bad that can be for you. But it takes daily practice. It's not a hide yourself inside your home for 2 weeks. It's a change your lifestyle every day forever to be healthy. And it's a more than nothing approach every day forever. That is something that most people just are unwilling to do. So I find that to be very interesting. And I think it's something that we should all think about. Have I put myself in the best position to be as healthy as possible for something like this? And it's not just the coronavirus. Right now, it's the coronavirus. Next week, or next year, it'll be something else. And then following year, it'll be something else. Am I doing the daily things, the small things, eating my vegetables, drinking my water, doing my, little workouts and simple workouts from home or whatever? Am I doing the things to put myself in the best position possible for whatever comes my way? And that stuff is daily practice. It doesn't need to be over the top. We've talked about all the different things that you can do here. It's why street parking exists. It's why we're so passionate about what we do at our business. Are you willing to do that? Once the coronavirus goes away, are you going to go back to the lifestyle that you had before if it was unhealthy? Are you going to be like, oh, thank goodness I never got the coronavirus. Now let me just first stop, McDonald's, Big Mac, here we come. I can finally leave my house. Is that you? Is that going to be you? If it is, I think this is a great time to reflect on, am I doing the small things or am I just jumping on the bandwagon of doing the drastic things? Because that feels like my only chance at this point. And really take stock of how you're treating your life in general. This is another reminder. Once again, I had this big awakening when I was in my car accident, and being physically strong literally saved my life. But this is another reminder for all of us that fitness and health are not about your six-pack. They are not about the way you look in your swimsuit or about the way you look in your mirror selfies. They are about being as healthy as possible for any situation that comes up. The healthier you are, no matter what happens in your life, the more likely you are to recover from that thing. That is plain and simple, just the truth. It's not a guarantee that you'll recover. It's not a guarantee that if you get in a car accident, you won't be paralyzed or killed. It's not a guarantee that you won't get coronavirus or that it won't, really cause some issues for you. But it is the best possible situation you can put yourself in. The way you look is a nice byproduct, and that is it. So if your sole motivation for doing that stuff is just to look a certain way, this is also a time for you to think about, man, is that the only reason that I do this stuff? And I'm just lucky that I've been doing it and now I'm healthy? Or am I just counting macros but eating ice cream to fit in my carbohydrate and fat blocks when really I could be getting healthier food options so that I'm overall healthy and not just looking a certain way? Think of fitness and health as your buffer for anything that might come into your life. Some things are out of your control. Things are always going to come up. Some things are unpreventable, but put yourself in the best situation and do those daily practices so that these drastic measures, when they come up, if you choose to do them, great. If not, it's your choice, but you don't feel as panicked because you're a healthy person who knows how to take care of your body and you trust your body to take care of you back. That's what was on my mind today. I hope this is a good reminder and something that we can think about. Stay safe out there, you guys. And just avoid Costco at this point because it's funny because now that's a big gathering of people that everybody's trying to avoid. The big gathering is now at Costco. So maybe just don't go there. Don't tell Julian I said that. He loves Costco. We love you, Costco, but you guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, have a good day, and we'll talk to you next time.